I love the East End, and I'm extremely connected to the water because I love everything that swims and crawls in it.
I mean, we spend most of our time on the water, fishing. We all go out and we go clamming together.
Growing up, my grandfather would take me fishing, my father would take me sailing. And I'm doing the same things with my children, but it's getting harder to do it, and I do worry about the future of it all.
We do not inherit this land. It's on loan to us from our children, and we need to take care of it for them. I want them to swim in the water and fish and see wildlife.
I've noticed that there's less of everything. Less crabs, less striped bass. I have 4 children. I don't want to have to turn to them and say, well, it used to be good fishing here. The work that the Group for the East End does is paramount to this water quality.
They're about environmental advocacy, they're about education, teaching our kids, and protecting the nature of the place we love.
The quality of the fish and the shellfish in the East End is absolutely integral to the experience out here. I wonder if people really get it. Do you think this would be such a desirable place to live if the water stank because of dead fish? If there were no clams, oysters, scallops? The DEC said that's an actual possibility as soon as 15 years.
There's a lot of threats to marine life right now. Marine habitats are on the run, both seagrasses and salt marshes. And then our fisheries, we've lost a tremendous amount of our shellfish.
Too much nitrogen, not enough oxygen, fertile ground for bad things like red tide and rust tide.
If there's nitrogen in the groundwater, again, it's mainly from wastewater, but that means there can be other things, pharmaceuticals, personal care products, and compounds that we're just being able to detect for the first time. We're studying a lot of the lakes and ponds across both the North Fork and the South Fork. And unfortunately, we're doing this because they all have problems with blue-green algae. At high levels, people shouldn't be going in the water. We've had dogs die from drinking the lake water.
It is actually a crisis. We're at a tipping point. We can change it.
Well, the Group for the East End's done a tremendous job of taking the science and the data and then translating that into action that can be taken both by individuals, but also action that should be taken at the governmental level, at the town, state, county.
For nearly 50 years, the Group for the East End has been the environmental watchdog of the East End.
They've done an amazing job in the last several years of raising awareness of these issues. It's almost like this great awakening of the public where they actually are now understanding what's happening, what's at stake, and what needs to be done.
The Group for the East End is doing an awful lot on our behalf. They need a little bit of your help. You can volunteer, you can fund them a little bit, you can speak out on their behalf. It's not that hard.
Probably my biggest concern is that we don't take action on the things that we can control. We can control how nitrogen goes from land to sea. My concern is that we don't handle that, and then when worse things happen like climate change, we'll be in real bad shape.
The East End is so magical that it's very easy for people not to realize what's happening right now. That scares me. You want to shake people and say, this could be gone. So I hope that they'll listen and realize that we're actually at a point where we have to do something.
If you want your kids to be able to enjoy this resource as much as I want my kids to, it's time to pay attention now.